There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received. Nothing was marked classified at the time I sent or received it.
I think it's also important to say something about the marking of classified information. Only a very small number of the emails here containing classified information bore markings that indicated the presence of classified information.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and there were also classified emails marked classified, according to the head of the FBI. Joining me now, Republican Congressman from the great state of Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn joins us, Chairman of the Congressional Select Committee on Infant Lives and Vice Chair of the Congressional Committee on Energy and Commerce. Congressman, welcome.
Well, it's good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, so much to get to. I just want to start with this. Of course, two chairmen of two committees, including the Oversight Committee and the Judicial Committee, sent a letter to the proper authorities in the Justice Department saying, hey, Hillary perjured herself. And then they made this video, did the Oversight Committee, showing her testifying under oath before Congress, and then what she said contradicted by what the head of the FBI told us. So, for examples, how could she not get charged with perjury, and do you think she will?
Well, she should be charged with perjury because she said one thing and then she contradicted herself. And then she has been out there in media interviews saying, well, the FBI director said I did nothing wrong. And Hillary has told these stories so long, I think she's kind of separated herself from the truth and doesn't know when she's fibbing about this.
So do you mean that? Now, do you mean that literally? Do you mean that it's so easy for her to lie and she's so used to lying that she really doesn't even know when she's lying? Do you think that's possible?
It is hard to say. It's one of those things you wonder about. How could she listen to what Jim Comey said and then have an interpretation of it or an understanding of it that is in direct conflict to what he said?
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting point, and there must be a name for that in psychological terms, which is above my pay grade. Maybe yours, I don't know. Let me ask you about Donald Trump and the news today. I read the news today, oh boy, and you know, they're calling it a shakeup, but the addition of Kellyanne Conway and of Stephen Bannon from Breitbart to the campaign. What's your take on it?
I think that it is a very positive move that he is bringing in experienced talent to take that top tier. He's not been broad enough at the top tier, and I've known Kellyanne for a long time. She has been my pollster. She is dynamic. She is certainly, she knows what she is doing, and having her voice in making the decisions about what the next steps will be for the campaign, I think is a positive.
I want you to hear what Hillary had to say about the moves today, and here it is.
I think it's fair to say that Donald Trump has shown us who he is. He can hire and fire anybody he wants from his campaign. They can make him read new words from a teleprompter. But he is still the same man who insults Gold Star families, demeans women, mocks people with disabilities, and thinks he knows more about ISIS than our generals.
So what do you say to that?
I say, well, Hillary Clinton is still the same woman that most people view as being untrustworthy. They view her as being a liar. They have tremendous doubts about what really is the function of the Clinton Foundation. They can't figure out why she was so frivolous and flippant in how she dealt with her emails and the nation's secrets. And because of that, they don't trust her to be commander-in-chief. And the Clinton Foundation is trying to go through the process of triangulation, which they always do when they get in trouble. They've done it very successfully. They're pros at it. And they also are trying to do the Saul Alinsky thing of isolating Donald Trump and making him the issue and making the election a referendum on Donald Trump. I am far less worried about what Donald Trump says than I am about what Hillary Clinton will do or has done. that
Do you-
affects the nation
Do you
directly.
believe, Congressman, that Donald Trump should call on Hillary Clinton to promise to, the whole Clinton family backs off, the Clinton Foundation separates themselves completely should she become president, and in fact, even now at this point?
Well, and the Boston Globe had an article in, I think it was today, calling for the closure of the Clinton Foundation if Hillary were to win and become president. So people look at this thing and they're saying, wait a minute, you've got Charity Navigator that cannot rate it because of its unusual business model. They have failed to report foreign contributions from 2010 to 2012. They they spend 13% of the money they bring in on their mission. They spend about $30 million a year on salaries, benefits, and people are going, hey, wait a minute, what really is the deal with this?
So do you agree with the paper? Do you think it should be closed down if she becomes president?
Yeah, I mean, if you have an entity that has gone in here and the stories just keep coming, whether it's Uranium One or Nigerian land deals or Laureate, you just keep having these stories, or Frank Giestra, all of these connections to the Clinton Foundation that are inappropriate. Our country has never had a foreign policy that is for sale. And it is inappropriate to have a Secretary of State that was working the Clinton Foundation on one side and responsibility of Secretary of State on the other.
Absolutely. I got one more for you, Congressman. Appreciate your time. The horrific floods in the state of Louisiana. We have 11 dead. We have over 40,000 homes damaged. It's a nightmare, an ongoing nightmare. And Barack Obama, playing golf, they say he gets briefed, hasn't said boo, certainly hasn't gone there. If this were a Republican president, maybe a George W. Bush or someone else, they'd be, what they'd be doing to him. So should Barack Obama take time out from golf and go visit Louisiana?
Of course he should. But, we had in 2010, we had the floods in Nashville, the 1,000-year flood. And we had a tremendous amount of Middle Tennessee that was underwater. And we kind of felt the same thing, that it was just ignored by the mainstream media. It was ignored by the White House. But, of course, the president should stop what he's doing, and he should be paying his respects to those that have lost their lives, and he should be honoring the work of the first responders, of the volunteers, and the citizens of Louisiana who are rising to the occasion to meet the need that is so desperate at this point in time.
Congressman, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much. We'll speak to you soon.
Good talking to you. Bye now.
All right, Congressman Marsha Blackburn, ladies and gentlemen.